email asking anyone if they would like to try or sample our Pulp Riot Liquid Demi or our Faction 8. So we will send that email out with rules with the recorded video after, and please just respond with your name, phone number, and address if you would like to try some of our samples. We are very excited. A lot of people know Pulp Riot of our semis because of our semis, but we are a full color line that has a lot to offer. So that is what we're going to be going over today. So thank you very much. Like I said, everyone please stay on mute just because there's a lot of people on the call and we want to keep things rolling, so we don't want to take you away from your whole day. But again, thank you for being here, and I will hand it over to Mr. Roger Medina.
Hi guys. Thank you so much for joining this afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining us. You know, I wanted to start the class by saying who I am a little bit. My name is Roger Medina. I'm a celebrity hairstylist and on-set TV personality. And if you guys want to follow me, it's at Roger Medina Hair. And so I wanted to jump on here and, you know, educate you guys on Pulp Riot and my experience. I've been using Pulp Riot since 2017. I started off using more of the semi-colors, doing more bright, vibrant colors, and then I slowly transitioned into permanent and demi-permanent, or demis, when they launched it. So because I do a lot of wigs and extensions, I really wanted to find a color line that could make my job so much easier. I wanted something that was vegan. I wanted something that was not so harsh on wigs or extensions. And so that's one of the reasons why I fell in love with Pulp Riot in the first place. And yeah, so I wanted to show you guys 3 looks that you guys can do on wigs. I'm going to be demonstrating them on one solid blonde, how to root shadow a platinum blonde wig using the Liquid Demi. And then I'm going to also show you how to root hair extensions using Faction 8 and Liquid Demi combined. And then the 3rd look, we're going to be doing more of like a multi-tonal brown using Liquid Demi as well as Faction 8. So, Carson?
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen, and Roger, maybe you can just talk to each of the looks here. 1 second. Okay. All right, so here's our first look.
So that first look that you guys see on the screen, it actually was just a solid platinum blonde, a level 10. And so I ended up rooting it with a Liquid Demi 703, which is the natural gold. And then I went in and I used Liquid Demi on the mids and ends. I used 9-2, which is the level 9 violet. And then I used clear with processing solution, which is 1:1.
Amazing. I cannot wait to see this look. Let's go next.
So this is my model Briar, and she wanted more of like a honey rooted blonde extension. So she came to me, she had platinum blonde extensions, and she's like, please help me. Like, how do I not buy, you know, new extensions and just use the ones that I have? So we ended up rooting this with Faction 8, the permanent line. So we used 7.1 with 7-1 and 7-3 with 10 vol 1:1. And then on the mids and ends, we use the Liquid Demi, which is, what did we use on it again? 9.2? No. 9.2. Sorry, guys. On the mids and ends, we use 9.0 and 7.03 on the mids and ends with Liquid Demi.
Amazing. And this one?
So this is the brunette one that she wanted more of like a multi-dimensional color. And so the wig was originally really brassy, a level 8. And so I wanted to do more of like a multi-dimensional brown. So we ended up using Faction 8 500 with 10 vol 1:2. So I diluted it, and I'm going to talk about why I did that to turn it into a more of a demi-like color. And then on the brighter pieces, we ended up using Liquid Demi 8.8-1, 7-8, and processing solution 1:1.
Okay, amazing. I will stop sharing those looks now. And we're back to you.
If you guys have any questions while I'm like applying the color onto the wigs or the extensions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and then Carson is going to just keep the conversation going, okay? And I want this to be very interactive. I want you guys to come chime in. Normally when I'm doing a masterclass, I have like students around me, but unfortunately we can't during this crazy time. So, you know, I would like to have you guys join me. Okay, so this is my first look that I'm going to do. As you guys can see, she is a level 10. Some of the ends are level 9. I want to show you guys how to do a proper rooted look on a platinum blonde wig. Sometimes when you do a rooted look on a blonde, you can get really harsh demarcation. And with Liquid Demi, I don't have to worry about that. So I want to show you guys the before, and then this is her after. This is how it's going to look afterwards. So you guys can see the root is very seamless. It looks very natural. It's very blended. Obviously, her hair is styled right now, but when I stretch it out, you guys can see it's very blended using Liquid Demi. And you guys can also see how clean the blonde is. It's not too ashy, it's not too violet. It's just like a nice, clean blonde that I wanted, compared to this one is very, you know, yellow. She fell on the ground, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna start. So I'm gonna start with the root. Again, I'm using Liquid Demi, and so I wanna show you guys the consistency of it. It's actually it smells beautiful. It's actually, I think it's grapeseed oil, right, Carson?
Yeah, so the smell that you're smelling is a grapeseed extract. When you mix it with developer, it kind of turns into a fruit roll-up, a grapefruit roll-up smell. And even when you mix it and apply it on someone's hair, the smell lasts in the hair about 3 days and also takes on another scent. It's obsessive. It's amazing.
And also, like, why I love using Liquid Demi right on the root is, you know, the blend and the translucent of the effect that I want. The results is amazing. So I can't wait to just do it and show you guys. I'm just gonna stop talking, show you, okay? So let me just lower her down. So when it comes to wigs, I always like to do, obviously, where the part starts. I don't like to rub it in too much. I just like to tap. And the reason why I like to tap is because I can make sure that that's where I'm getting the color where I want it to be. Then after I'm done doing where I want it parted, then I like to go around and do the hairline. And again, we're just tapping. We're not really, you know, smudging it, emulsifying it. We're just wanting it to be in place.
So we have a question, is the formula 703?
Yes, formula 703 with processing solution 1-to-1.
Awesome, and we also have a question, where did you get the solid blonde wig from? And we have those answers.
So Carson will put in the comments below the links of where you can get the solid blonde wigs. We're actually, it's manufactured from this company called RPG Show, and their wigs are like limited right now. So right now they only have 5 20-inch platinum blonde ones and 5 14-inch platinum blonde ones. So if you guys want one, get them right away because they're gonna go like hotcakes.
Yeah, I just put the link in the chat. So click on those links. It will take you directly on where you're gonna get those wigs.
So again, I'm just tapping it. Give me 1 second, trying to find my clip. And so you're also just treating it almost like a root application. And yeah, sorry, I'm like in the zone. I can't wait for you guys to see the results. Right away, I can also see the color changing right in front of my eyes. And when you're doing wigs, some people are afraid that it might stain the lace on the wig. With the liquid demi, you don't have to worry about that at all. That's why I love using it, is because it's not going to stain the lace, which is critical, especially when you're trying to do a proper lace front. And like I said, again, I'm just like tapping the root.
We have another question. Is there any Canadian distributors for wigs that you would suggest?
You know what? I might have to get back to you on that. I know there is a couple, but I just don't know how the quality is. The reason why I like using RPG Show is because I already know the quality of the hair and I don't have to worry about the result. Just because some manufacturers do process their hair a bit differently than other wig companies or different hair extension companies. So if you're looking for a wig company, I would recommend RPG Show. But again, to answer your question, for a Canadian company, I'll get back to you on that. And when it comes to hair extensions, I always use 𝗪𝗠𝗡 hair.
And everyone, don't be shy. Please take pictures, tag Roger Medina, tag Pulp Riot Canada. We're a very digital brand. Digital is in our DNA, and we love sharing everything that's going on. All of our education is always 100% free.
So you guys can already see the color changing in front of our eyes. It's zero lift, and it's only a deposit, and that's basically what I want. I just want to create that nice soft shadow. And with the liquid demi, I don't have to worry about, you know, any kind of harsh lines, especially with my brush.
I have a question for you personally. Do you always, when you're doing a wig, do you always apply the root the way that you're applying it, or do you sometimes apply the root vertically?
I like to, for this specific look, I like to do horizontally. If I'm doing a different, like if I'm doing like a multi-tonal look, I'll do more vertically. If that answers your question, Carson.
Awesome, thank you. And we do have one more question from Ashley Rollins. Do you do anything to protect the lace, especially when doing fashion shades?
So what you can do, that's a great question actually. If I'm doing fashion color for the lace, I like to either create a barrier, almost like if your client, you're trying to prevent their forehead from staining, you can go in and use Vaseline. You can go in and use conditioner, hair mask. I like to even go in with the intense hair mask around the lace to just create that barrier to ensure that your lace is not going to get tinted. But again, when you're using a liquid demi, you don't have to worry about the lace staining. It's just so amazing. Like compared to when you're using permanent color on lace, you're for sure going to get that harsh stain. And then basically you're going to have to bleach the lace. So why make your job more difficult when you can just do it in one process? Look at her, root is coming together.
What's the, how long do you leave liquid demi on for?
For liquid demi for her, I'm leaving her on for about, I'm leaving the roots on for 30 minutes. And then on the mids and ends, I'm gonna finish it off with the remaining 15. And also I'm actually gonna put the formula on the screen right now so you guys can take note.
Make sure to screenshot this.
Can you guys see that formula?
Amazing, thank you. Keep it up there for just a little bit longer so people can screenshot. Oh, poor Roger, we're blocking Roger. Okay, awesome, thank you.
Amazing. And also what I love about the liquid demi is that I don't have to worry about filling her hair. And with the 7-03, it just creates this fill that is beautiful, looks natural. It actually looks like a natural root. So you don't have to worry about it going like swampy, muddy, flat, green. It's like a really nice natural root color. Okay, so now, because we're virtual, I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start the mids and ends. So again, this is left on for 30 minutes on the root. So, thank you. This is my assistant, Jamie, by the way. Come on in, Jamie. She's lovely, she's amazing. She's been helping me for a long time, and so she'll be helping me. You're gonna see her come onto the screen here and there, okay?
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, guys.
So for the mids and ends, we ended up using 9-2 and clear. I think we did 15 grams 9-2 and 15 grams of clear. Then the remaining 30 we did processing solution. So I'm going to show you guys how to apply it after, okay? Can you guys see everything okay?
Yeah, looks good. Oh, someone wants to know Jamie's Insta.
Jamie, you got someone hitting on you. Okay. Okay, tell them. Come tell them. Come tell them. Come tell them.
It's hair at Jamie. J-A-I-M-E. Actually, it's not that at all.
A couple more questions here. Okay, one, is that a full lace wig or a wefted back wig?
It is. It's a wefted. It's lace front with wefted back.
Okay.
And the reason.
Oh, go ahead.
The reason why I like to do a lace front wefted back is because the density is a lot fuller. If I was to do a whole lace, the density of the wig is quite thin. So for a whole lace, I like to use that more on my bobs, more shorter hair looks.
Great. And also we had one more question. Do you have to use a filler when you're before putting on a darker color?
Say it again, sorry.
You have to fill the hair before you put on a darker color when you're using the Demi.
For my experience, when I'm doing from a level 10 to a 7, I don't have to fill at all. So that's why I was able to go in with 7-03.
Yeah, and also from my experience, I've done lots of testing with it, and it will fill at least 3 to 4 levels without having to pre-fill.
So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start at the mids and ends. I'm gonna work my way. You really wanna make sure that you saturate the hair with the liquid Demi line. I also like to keep an inch away, about an inch away from the root, because I'll go in and smudge that after. Let me just tilt her down a little bit so you guys can see. There, that's a little bit better.
We have one great question, which I was also going to ask. What do you find is the difference when formulating for the wigs in comparison to a regular client, if there is any?
So that's a great question. For the company that I use their hair, RPG Show, I don't have to worry about adjusting volume or adjusting my formula. Some wig companies use a little bit of synthetic hair, so you actually do want to blast the cuticle with a 20 volume, unfortunately, but it's based on the manufacturer and of wigs and extensions. So for Bellamy, I can speak on Bellamy. If you're wanting to do a tint back with a color, you can just use the formula as if you were going to do it on your client, especially if you're going from light to dark. And but yeah, so you can actually treat it as if it was like a formula for your client. Again, if you need more to fill the hair with, if you're doing a dye back, you can go in with a little bit more gold. If that answered your question.
We will wait and see. Also, okay, so you're saying that you need to blast the wig cuticle open with 20 volume every time?
So some wigs you need to use 20 volume to penetrate because some wig companies, they incorporate synthetic hair. So sometimes it just doesn't really latch. So, and the reason why they do incorporate synthetic hair is because, you know, it's cheaper. So, so yeah, so you want to be mindful with that as well. When you're doing a wig and you're like, why is it not taking, why is the color not taking? Well, it's not because of the color, it's because of the hair that it's manufactured in.
Okay, amazing. And then another one, how far back did you apply the shadow roots? Was it all over or only the front?
Right now I only did the front just because of time.
Yeah.
So again, you want to just do the same application as if you're doing a retouch. So that's why I didn't really do the back, so I can really show you guys how the product actually works.
Amazing, thank you. And yes, you answered Danielle's question perfectly.
Okay, amazing. I know I wanted to show you guys 3 looks that you guys could use on clients or on set. That's why I'm just trying to do everything I can in the span of an hour.
And Mark Levac says, did you do any prepping or clarifying to the wig beforehand?
Great question. So whenever I do extensions or wigs, I do like to prep my wig a little bit. So I like to clarify, purify the wig prior to applying. Yes, 100%. Thank you for reminding me to say that. I've been prepping for the weekend, so, you know.
You guys are asking such amazing questions. We have one more. When you're coloring a wig for a client, how is it priced out?
Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, that is a good question.
So let's say, for example, this unit, I believe it's about $7.95 USD. So I like to maybe mark up 80 to 100%. So you can probably do it from that scale price point. Did that help? I like to mark it up because I also like to customize the unit. So once you get the unit or the wig, you still have to take time to, you know, color it, make it look natural.
So 80 to 100% of the price that you purchased the wig or everything that you're putting into it. So let's say you have a color of balayage that you would do for a regular client that was like 250 bucks. How would you price out that wig coloring?
I would probably price it out to, I'd probably do from the price that the wig cost. So I would say again, the unit costs 800 USD. I probably mark it up at least 80 to 100 on that price, plus the product that you would use to color the unit. Okay, so now I'm going back to the first section, and I'm gonna go in and smudge that 1 inch that I left. Let me turn her so you guys can see. But you just lightly just wanna rub it in. I love seeing this root already. It's already changing beautifully. And the reason why I like to rub it in versus using a brush is then I can really get in there.
A lot of people are talking about pricing in the comments of wigs, and when you're looking for your wig, I know you work with RPG Wig Show. How do you know if you're ordering something online, if it's going to be good or not, based off price points?
So you know what I can do for you guys is after my class, I'm going to send Carson different manufacturers of wigs that I would recommend. And also, if you have any wig companies that you are looking at, send me their links in the caption, or sorry, in the chat, and I'll be able to tell you whether it's a good quality wig for that price. Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. Because yeah, at the end of the day, you want your wigs to have full density. I've had so many bad experiences when it comes to solid blonde platinum wigs, so I just wouldn't want to recommend a company that is, you know, not 100% the quality that you're looking for. Especially if you're doing like fashion colors, when you're tinting wigs with brighter colors, sometimes you'll notice like the hair starts to shed a lot. It's because it's not good quality wigs or extensions. Okay, I'm almost done, guys.
Okay, we have one more question. Great question. How long do the colors last in the wigs? So if you wash it once a month for the client, would you reapply the color again on a wig, and will it be the same result?
That's a great question. From my experience, I don't really wash my wigs because I use them for photo shoots and stuff like that. And so I personally only like to wash my wigs once a month. And if a client is going to be washing it more frequently, I would probably say wash it like twice a month. And you probably don't need to color or tint the extensions or tone it at all until probably the fourth wash.
Awesome, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the blend. Let me bring her closer. I also covered my wig block with saran wrap. So I'm going to let this go 15 minutes. You can already see the color changing. Again, I just wanted it to be more of a clean blonde. I didn't want it to be like, you know, too ashy, too flat. But look at that root blend.
Beautiful.
But you see what I mean? There's like no harsh line at all.
Beautiful.
Okay, I'm gonna leave that on for 15 minutes. I'm gonna pass her off to my assistant, Jamie. And we're gonna move on to the next demo.
Perfect. Just so you know, we're halfway through.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So I want to show you guys how to root a platinum blonde extension. Carson, can you show them the screen?
Yeah. Are we showing them the first one or the second one?
A second.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, perfect. So you guys see, this is my model Briar. She wanted more of that honey blonde rooted look, and she had platinum blonde extensions, and so we ended up making her more of a, you know, reverse balayage blonde kind of a look. And so I want to show you guys how I did that for her extensions.
Okay.
Okay, so for Briar, we ended up using the 7-1 and 7-3 in Faction 8 on the roots. And then after doing the roots, I ended up going in and weaving some pieces for lowlights. Then after that, the remaining hair, we ended up toning that with 9-0 as well as 7-0 in Liquid Demi. So I'm gonna show you guys all of this. I'm gonna stop talking. So I'm sure you guys are curious to see like how I root this. And the extension that I'm using is 𝗪𝗠𝗡 hair. I've been using 𝗪𝗠𝗡 for about 5 years and they never fail. The quality is superior. And they have next day shipping. So it's amazing for those crazy clients who need their extensions ASAP.
As you're applying, do you mind if we ask you some more questions?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So from Daniela Ross, for maintenance for clients, what are the must-have products or tools you suggest they purchase alongside wigs?
So for wigs, I like to recommend sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner. I love also a mask. Again, they don't need to wash their wigs so often because, you know, you want to preserve the hair. And I also just don't like drying wigs. It takes forever to dry. And so yeah, that's what I would recommend. Literally less is more. You don't really want to junk it up with like oil or anything like that because you don't want your wig to look stringy as well. Sorry, I'm just like mixing this and I want to show you guys the consistency of the Faction 8.
You guys have that formula as well?
Yeah, I'm going to show you guys the formula right now. Jamie, do you mind showing everyone the formula for this one?
We love Jamie. Jamie's like your Vanna.
Yes. He is my man.
Everyone screenshot that. Amazing.
Me and Jamie, we have fun without the fun. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie. She's like my Vanna White, you know?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Okay, so I'm going to just get into it. So let me position this so you guys have a good view. So when I'm rooting an extension, I really like to go heavy-handed at first because you want to make sure that you get the product right at the base and you want to really saturate it. Just because extensions are thick, so there's so many layers to extensions that you want to make sure that you saturate everything. Can you guys see okay? Let me just tilt it a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to go in and go very aggressive. I like to go across the whole weft. Just making sure that everything is really saturated. Then I like to lift the hair up. I like to paint the base of it right there. I like to feather up product. Just so then that way, when you lay the weft down, it will also saturate it from underneath. And I'm going to do that same technique, but on the opposite side. You want to paint your block that you're working on. Paint upwards of the weft before you lay it down. Bring it back down. Make sure that everything is saturated, okay? Then I like to go in and I'm gonna just do your typical weft weaving technique to create dimension in there. I'm going a little bit more thicker than usual, just so then that way the dimension comes through. Sometimes if you do thinner weaving, you don't see the dimension and it almost just gets lost. I'm gonna use my foil. Actually, sorry, I missed one spot. So after you're done weaving, you wanna go in underneath, and you also want to paint underneath the weft, the hair that you just weft. I'm gonna go and foil this out. Okay. With a clean brush, you can either just wipe the excess away. Then you want to foil it, and you don't need to, you know, do anything complicated when it comes to the foil. You just want to get that section out. Then I'm going to repeat the same thing on this opposite side. You guys can also already see the color changing. It's going to give us more of like that natural dirty blonde that I'm trying to achieve to match my client's hair that you guys saw on the monitor.
Awesome. So we did have one question. Would you do both at the same time, or fractionate, rinse, and then liquid demi?
Say that again, sorry.
Would you do both at the same time, or would you do the fractionate, rinse it, and then add the liquid demi?
So I would probably do the fractionate, and then I wouldn't rinse it. I would just go in with the liquid demi right after you're done doing the roots. I hope that you guys can see okay. Clean brush, just gonna feather that down. Sorry, I know it's a bit awkward. Okay, so let's say I'm gonna leave this in for about 5-10 minutes. Then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna start the mids and ends.
Do you prefer using a permanent color for the shadow root on extensions?
Pardon me?
Do you prefer using a permanent color for the shadow root on extensions?
I personally like to use permanent because it will last longer on my clients. Majority of my clients, they're very active. They like to wash their hair. And so I like to use permanent. So at least that way it's going to be guaranteed that the color is not going to fade right away. Especially when it comes to like a root shadow. I just like more of like an opaque finish. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how I do my mids and ends, okay? So I like to flip all the foils out of the way. Sorry, wrong bottle. That would have been disastrous. And don't be afraid if you see any kind of like line like that. We're gonna go in and smudge that, okay?
You got some love, Roger. Anita says that you're doing an awesome job.
Oh, thank you. I'm so used to like having like my students here. So it's like very bizarre that I'm just here teaching my camera guy and my assistant, which she already knows all this theory. But But yes, thank you, Anita. Okay. So you guys see how I really saturated it because I want the blonde to look more honey and I want to drop it a level. I want her to be more of an 8, or sorry, not an 8, a 9. And don't be afraid while you see it's processing. I know it does look darker, but it's actually not once you rinse it. So I'm going to continue that onto the next section.
Another cool question from Marc-Andre. Do you usually tweeze the hairlines and parts to make it look more natural, or any tips on that?
Yes, so I think that I should do a masterclass on just wig installation. But yes, depending on the density of the hair, sometimes wigs come and it's very wiggy. So I like to pluck the hairline just so it looks more natural and as if it's growing out of the client's hair or the model's hair or model's scalp. And but yes, 100% I like to pluck. I personally don't like to do too much baby hair when I'm doing like a wig installation. But yes, 100%. I hope that answered your question, Mark.
I'll just give Mark a little plug while you're applying. Mark is teaching our next class next Monday, March 14th at 4 p.m. and he's doing wig and extension coloring with Pulp Riot semi-permanence. So anybody who wants another class on semi-permanence, come next Monday.
I will be there.
And you can go to Pulp Riot Canada and click the link in our bio and sign up. Like I said, spots are already basically almost sold out. So please go now and do it now if you do want to come.
Okay, guys, so now with the remaining hair, I like to just keep this out for the remaining, I'd probably say 10 minutes of the processing, just so then there's some sort of dimension. So it's not just one solid flat color when it comes to extensions. And after, okay, let's say we're done, it's done processing. I like to go in and just emulsify it all together. And after you're done emulsifying, you would only leave this on for about 5 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna pass her off to Jamie. Jamie's gonna rinse her out. And so this is the after. So you guys can see how the root looks very natural, like a true 7 neutral. There's no gold, there's a little bit of warmth, but it's not orange, it's not red. It just looks like it's an actual natural level 7. What do you guys think? Do you guys approve of this root, or do you guys prefer the root darker?
You're getting a lot of love. So pretty, obsessed, amazing. Love the dimension. J-Lo who? Hashtag gorge, love this. Yes.
Right.
So beautiful, love it. Wow, this is major. It's ideal. Lovely.
Yay.
Very cool. Drooling, I love it.
So no need to buy balayage extensions, just create your own. Okay, so now we are gonna move on to our last one. So Carson, do you wanna put on the screen, the third look?
Yeah, all right, here's the third look.
Hey guys, so the third look, I wanted to do more of like a brown multi-tonal color on this unit. So I wanted to still keep it like very rich and warm. I didn't want anything ashy or cool. So yeah, so I just wanted more of like a multi-dimensional color, all in the warm family.
I love that it's warm and you're doing a warm color because everyone's so obsessed with like cools and ashes and stuff like that. But a warm brown is so beautiful and it's not easy to do.
No, it's not. And I feel like, you know, brunettes always just get forgotten about, you know? And so this is how this unit started off, or starts off. And this was actually the after. This is the same wig that model was wearing in that photo. So you can still see it's almost like tone on tone, but you still see lots of dimension going through. And I can't wait to show you guys my formula for her. Oh, so pretty. I want to wear it. Okay, Jamie, do you want to show them our formula that I did? Okay, so for the roots, I did Faction 8, the permanent line. We did 500, double natural with 10 volume, 1:2. And so the reason why I did 1:2 instead of 1:1 is because I wanted it a little bit more sheer. So when you do 1:2 with the Faction 8, it actually turns it more so into a Demi-like color. And then afterwards, I went in, so I did vertical sectioning. So with the remaining root color, I did that in one part of the section, and then with the other section, I did Liquid Demi, 8-1 and 7-8, which is the brown. I personally love the 8 series, which is like the brown series, and because it just gives me like this nice true brown. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me just not stop talking and I'm gonna show you. Okay. So here's the consistency. Let me go like this. So this is 1:2 ratio, and you can see how it's a little bit more pliable. I actually wanted it to be, I like it like this when I'm doing a root melt, when it comes to permanent. Especially if I want it to be more like in the level 5 family. And the reason why I didn't put ash in it, like a 5-1, is because I didn't want it to look ash. I wanted that warmth to still come through. So let's just get into it. So I'm gonna, again, treat it as if I'm doing a root application. Let me tilt her down so you guys can see. And again, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments.
Oh, we have questions. Are you ready for them? All right. Do you usually apply color on extensions / attach to the client or prep before the appointment?
That is a great question. If it's a new client, I like to do the extensions off her head. I like to color match prior to, and then install. If it's a regular client that is coming in for like a touch-up or whatever, then I can do a root application. I can do toning right on the client's head.
Amazing. Do you find extension / wig hair process is faster and doesn't need the full time with Faction 8 / Liquid Demi?
So because extensions and wigs, the hair is processed more than clients, it doesn't need as much time as clients' hair. The only thing is, it depends on like if you're wanting it to drop faster in terms of levels. I like to leave it on for the full 30 minutes just to make sure that I don't have to go in and redo the color just because I wasn't satisfied or because I didn't leave it on long enough. And also the thing is, when you're doing wigs, you don't have to worry about the warmth from body temperature, so you don't have to worry about getting hot root. Yeah, I hope I answered it. Let me just work faster here. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and just do, I actually don't want to do the hairline because I want to keep the brightness. So now after doing the roots, I like to go in with vertical sectioning. And I really want to just saturate the section. And you want to drag this all to the end. And then you're going to move a section. You're going to leave a section, and then you're going to go on to the next vertical section.
Okay. Do you ever do one-on-one education / shadowing?
I do, 100%. Reach out to me. I would love to do one-on-one. It's like actually I love doing one-on-one. So depending where you are, I could either come to you. We could either do a virtual online class together. Your call.
Also have the most amazing question from Caitlin. What is the most life-changing piece of wig advice you've ever received?
Oh my God. Okay. That's a great question. I want to cry. I actually had a client, she was going through chemo and she was going through radiation, and she just wanted to feel beautiful again. She wanted to feel herself and not feel like, you know, a patient who's going through chemo. And so I created this like natural, effortless wig on her, almost to mimic like as if she was like, it was like her hair when she was 12. And when we put it on and when we did a full customization, she literally was like in tears. And I think that's ultimately the reason why I got into hair. Was it wasn't about the money, it was a matter of how it made the client feel, you know? Thank you for that question, Caitlin. It was actually beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna fast forward and work faster. Okay, so now the hair that is left out, I'm going to go in with my Liquid Demi formula. You guys can see my vertical sectioning, right? This is gonna dimension, more of like that reverse balayage. And also the reason why I used permanent on this is so then, because she has lots of warmth in it, so I wanted to make sure that the warmth is eliminated. And that's why I also went in with a 00, which is a double natural. So then that way it will ensure that the warmth gets eliminated, but it's not 100% gone. So now I'm gonna go in and saturate all the hair that's remaining with the Liquid Demi. And this is the 7.8 in it, right? What else is in it, Jamie? for this sectioning?
8-1 and 7-8. 8-1 and 7-8.
8-1 and 7-8, yeah.
I have another really good question from Daniela Ross. What are some common mistakes stylists make when working on lace wigs that they wish they knew?
Sorry, say it again, Carson.
Basically, what are common mistakes stylists make when working on lace wigs?
I think that they overstyle wigs sometimes. Also, you want to make sure that your wig is laid. You know that term laid? That's a wig. It needs to be properly laid. And so if your foundation underneath the wig isn't flat, it starts to look lumpy. It starts to look like just bulky and it looks like a wig. So you want to ensure that your base underneath the wig is laying really, really flat. So whether that's cornrowing it, doing a pin curl to make sure that it's really flat. You also want to make sure that your lace cap or your wig cap is matching their skin tone. I also like to go in and use a little bit of foundation to apply on top of the wig cap so then it looks very natural and it looks like scalp. And also what Mark was saying earlier, his question was the like plucking, tweezing around the hairline on a wig. I feel like a lot of people forget to do that so that it starts to look like very unnatural. So just make sure that you target all those issues that I mentioned, and then you guys should be okay when it comes to wig application. And I think I'm going to do a wig application in the next month or two, so especially after all the questions on them.
Can you perm a wig?
I personally would not recommend it. You can get wigs that are already curly naturally, so I would just suggest getting a curly one. Okay, I'm just going to work this faster. You guys see how amazing the consistency of the Faction 8 that I did with a 1:2 ratio, as well as the Liquid Demi 1:1. You can already see the color changing. It's very multi-tonal, but you still get that nice warmth in it, and it's not flat.
One more great question from Koi. We've experienced extensions taking warmer than regular hair. Should you alter the formula or color separately, or just watch the time/results while processing?
You know what your formula is. That all depends on what your formula is. Making sure that the level that you're coloring is properly assessed. If the target color, if you're still a bit too dark than the target color, you want to make sure that you're on level, not above level or below level. But to answer your question, I would leave it on longer, 100%. Also, one more thing, if you're wanting to, give me 1 second. If you're wanting to, let's say a client, her hair is like very, very warm, and before you do this method on her, you can always go in with the Barcelona toning shampoo at the sink prior to applying the color. So then that way it just eliminates a little bit more copper, a little bit of gold. So I like to just go in with the Barcelona just to prep the hair prior to as well. Okay, Jamie, I'm gonna pass her off. So this is it on this side. Okay, thank you. Okay, so this is the after. So you see, it just still has dimension. I didn't want to make her too dark. You can see that 7.8 really coming through. Oh, it's so pretty. Love it.
Love it. Lots of love on that one. It is very, very beautiful.
It's all Pulp Riot, you guys. Like, literally, look at that. Like, you can see all the dimension coming through. You can see the Faction 8, the 1:2 ratio that I did. Just creating that enough dimension with the liquid Demi coming through it.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. I'm gonna leave her here. Okay, so ask me all the questions.
I think what I'll do is I'll call out for you guys to unmute. If you guys have to go, we are a little bit over, but if you want to stay on for a couple more questions, feel free. But basically in the chat, you can ask your question and then I will ask you to unmute. So we had a question from Sandra Jukic.
Yep.
Sandra, can you unmute and ask your question to Roger?
Hi, I'm just wondering, gorgeous work, by the way. It's really good. And sorry, I had my headphones on. Really beautiful work. I'm just wondering, can you have the Faction 8 and the liquid Demi on the head at the same time without either of them being isolated in foil? Are they okay to touch, or will there be any bleed spots?
So I like to be cautious and still isolate them if needed. Because this is not on an actual client, it's on the wig, so I'm wanting that effect. I want it to be more blended. I don't want any, you know, dramatic, I guess, contrast. So with Faction 8 and Liquid Demi, I do want that marble blend. So in that case, you can go ahead and apply it that way.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you for attending.
Okay, we have a question from Carla Smith. Carla, do you want to unmute and ask Roger your question?
Yes, sorry, I was having a little technical difficulty.
No worries.
Hi, Roger. I want to know, in your personal experience, do you find it better cutting or layering a wig on a mannequin or on a client's head?
Depending on the style that I'm wanting to achieve, I like to pre-style and pre-cut the wig on a mannequin and then put it on to the client and then finish off the cut and finish it off that way.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. We're a lot of great feedback. Any other questions? Feel free to unmute and ask your question. We will wrap up in about 2 minutes. I did just want to say thank you to everyone for coming. Again, if you want to go to the next class, please go to Pulp Riot Canada Instagram, and the link for the free class is in the bio. Our next free class is next Monday. And please come because it's going to be a lot of fun using our semi-permanent colors. So we really wanted to give you guys the natural class and then also the semi-permanent class. And please enter the contest. This is all regarding our Brooklyn Heights contest, hashtag Pulp Riot Realness. Please, if you have not already entered the contest, enter the contest using hashtag Pulp Riot Realness. And again, you can go to Pulp Riot Canada to see the results, to see the rules and regulations of the contest. We have a lot of amazing feedback. Thank you, Roger, for being here. And remember, you guys, we are going to email you. If you want to receive some samples, let us know and we will email you guys, and just return our email with your addresses. And if you haven't tried Faction 8 or Liquid Demi, we will 100% send you guys some samples.
Also, if you guys have any further questions when it comes to Demi, Liquid Demi or Faction 8, just shoot me a DM. I'll get back to you. Or if you need a recap on my formulas, I will feel free to, I will share them for you guys. So
Amazing. Thank you, everyone.
thanks, you guys. Thanks, Carson. Thanks, Pulp Riot. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Roger.
And yes, the samples. Yes.
I know people are like, samples, yes, samples. I love it.
Yes, the samples. Love.
Bye.
Okay, see you guys.